everybody.
I just found the keys to a city. The beats are big and the lights are pretty. So I can get to the busy where the dreams are in.
All right.
And that's There You Are by Pogo. And yes, here we are. Welcome to Lost Mannerisms. I'm Forrest.
And Anthony's back.
Today is Sunday, August 11th, 2019, just for our date reference. Anthony, would you read us our show summary?
Sure. On today's episode, we talk
Okay.
about stupid media coverage.
You do a bad radio host.
No, well, I'm not trying to do the radio host.
You sound like you are.
No, you ever seen Top Gear with Jeremy Clarkson and he does that?
Yeah, but you don't have it right. You're nowhere near right.
All right, then you do it.
On today's show, we talk about stupid media coverage and how to water words down. We show you how to use a tractor, and we bring back our Kurt Russell segment.
I'm about it.
All right. We're drinking Cuba Libres?
Mm-hmm. We are.
You don't have any criticism of that? You were yelling at me before.
You don't bother a man when he's lighting a cigar.
So we're
It's not a Cuba Libre or whatever the hell it's called.
which I never understand.
Look what you did! What the fuck? All right.
I never understand why Cuba Libre were calling a rum and coke.
Because it's a rum and coke. Who calls it a Cuba Libre?
But that's what it is.
Yeah, but it's not a Cuba Libre. It's a rum and coke.
But it's a Cuba Libre.
Yeah, if we're in Cuba, communist.
No. It's always a Cuba
No, it's
Libre.
not. It's a rum and coke. You do a Captain and Coke. You do a Jack and Coke. Well, Jack's not rum, but you do a Kraken and Pepsi.
Because you weren't supposed to say that.
Oh, Kraken and Pepsi. Kraken
and cola product that doesn't have cocaine in it.
And it's damn good.
What are you smoking?
I'm smoking a Chow.
And even though you just lit it, how do you like it?
Well, I don't know. I haven't really gotten into it yet.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm having my first Rocky Patel. There's a Rocky Patel Decade. It's a very light cigar.
Was it a Connecticut wrapper?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, Rocky Patel's good. I like Rocky
It's a very light one, but it's my first Rocky Patel. And
Uh-oh.
God!
Pardon me.
Don't answer it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Unless someone's dying, you can't answer it.
I think we're good.
We're going to talk about a quick news blip.
Blur.
Blur. And it relates to our topic, our general topic today, but we're just going to talk about the news, and then we're going to break segments so we can make Anthony happy.
Woo!
So, I'm sure all of you who watch the news are aware we had a couple major shootings. And we wish the best to the families of the victims.
Absolutely.
And I'm a bit religious. I'm not super religious, but I'm religious enough to hope that God welcomes them into his kingdom.
Okay. That's a way to put it.
Yeah, so it was kind of sad. We'll merge into our discussion on that after we talk about the big thing.
The big thing.
I don't know if it's the big thing, but I think it's hilarious. So, as is appropriate, Trump ordered the flags to be lowered to half-mast.
Sure, the right thing to do.
And so he said, okay, 8/8, a week, half a week, whatever it was, we're going to raise the flags back up.
What do you mean half-mast? You're saying that he did on...
He said we're going to make him half-mast, and on 8/8 we're going to put him back up. So, and this is what merges our topics together, our stupid media coverage. There was somebody on NBC who just went and who said, oh, Trump's raising the flags on 8/8. He has to be more aware of this stuff. H is the 8th letter in the alphabet, so 8/8 is significant to the neo-Nazis because it's HH, and that means Heil Hitler, and He has to be more conscious of his actions.
What person is that smoking? What are they smoking?
Not a Rocky Patel.
Not a Rocky Patel or a Chow. But that's just ridiculous.
It's absurd. And it's not like... So I don't think it was a major host.
No.
But he was talking to a major host.
Okay.
And the major host just was like, yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. More coverage.
And it's not like, wait a second, hold up. This is absurd. What are you talking about? What are you doing? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. I mean, like, you're making something that, you're making a big stink out of nothing. Like, the president did what he had to do, and he stated that on the 8th, it's going to be full staff again. He's not saying, we're doing it on the 8th because of Heil Hitler.
Yeah.
No, it was just like, all right, we're America. We got past this morning. God rest their souls.
Oh no, it's just not even that. He didn't even think about it.
I know, but like, still, the fact of the matter that he's just like, all right, this is the date the flags go back up.
Yeah,
it wasn't like he planned it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Unless we get into conspiracies, but
well, that's obvious. They're Alfred and I talked about the Mueller flop.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's all related to that. They ran out of big oomph.
Ouch.
So they're having to start this all up again to try to prove a point. And it also it gets into how they covered these shootings, which was just, I mean, the first off and if you notice, even after the shootings, we still publish the videos because we still believe that firearms are a right. We do believe there's also a problem happening, but it's being...
It's a mental health problem, not a firearms problem.
Well, I think we could have I think that we might get into that later.
Sure, yeah.
I would disagree that it's not... I don't know that it's a mental health problem.
You're out of your mind.
But I can agree it's not a guns problem.
No.
And Al sent me something because... And he was like, look, here's this study, and it's one of the few people who've done a study in the past few years, and they found that, in states that have these super restrictive gun laws, it doesn't actually change anything.
Mm-mm.
So...
I mean, we can bring up Chicago at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Chicago is just a secondhand Afghanistan.
Bring up California.
Well, yeah.
That's just as... Because people make the argument, well, Chicago's in a state that has lax gun laws, and it's not really, but in the gun sale, and this was something, I went into it, I don't know if I've gone over this in season 2, but I go on Twitter, and I have a fake account, try to find me. I have a fake account so I can see what people are thinking and feeling. And let's just for a second talk about the coverage of the Gilroy shooting. So, the Gilroy was the Garlic Festival one. Mm-hmm. The media reported as this was a legal firearm. This was a legal firearm purchase. It was an AK-47 variant.
Okay.
Somebody went so far as saying it was a gun based on the AK-47. And now, breaking this down, let's start with the one true part. Yes, it was a gun that was legal in California. It was one of the few guns that passed their strict definition of assault rifle. Which...
There is no such thing besides in the military.
Well...
But continue.
Let's merge into... Okay, it was a gun that was based on the AK-47. Anthony, do you know what firearm was used?
Something similar to an AK-47? Not a AK-47?
No, an SKS.
Okay, so it fires the same bullet.
Fires the same bullet.
All right, it's just, I mean...
How much older than the AK-47 is an SKS?
A couple.
SKS was used during, I believe it was used in the later years of World War II.
Yeah, I mean, you can technically say that the AK-47 was created after World War II. So let's just say the SKS came first because it was a easier platform to maintain.
So first off, our first thing is, saying that the SKS was based on the AK is like saying the horse and buggy was based on the Model T.
Yeah.
Now, we're much narrower window. Yeah,
Sure.
we're talking about 4 years, but
Yeah.
4 years is the actual date of when. Now, I don't know when the SKS was designed, but it was put into service 4 years before the AK was designed and almost 10 years before the AK went into service.
Right.
Now, like saying that they were saying an AK-based assault rifle, so the SKS, and maybe, you know what? Maybe our next gun safety episode, I will bring the SKS out. I know where I can get one. It is a semi-automatic rifle with a non-detachable magazine.
Okay. Simple as that.
No pistol grip, no all wood stock.
It looks like a hunting rifle.
It looks like a hunting rifle. Most of the assault rifle definitions include a detachable magazine.
Mm-hmm.
So it's tough to say it's an assault rifle. Any way you
It's
put
a
it.
service rifle. It's not
If
an
you
assault
use,
rifle.
because the actual definition of an assault rifle, and no, actually, you're wrong. There is a such thing as an assault rifle.
Well, there is, but it's in a military sense, not in a...
No. There.
Well, it's the Sturmgewehr. We've gone over this.
All right.
We've gone over
So the actual definition, the actual military definition is it's a semi-automatic, it's a select fire weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So it can fire in semi-automatic or automatic. Some people will consider certain automatic firearms assault rifles.
They are 15.
That's not an automatic rifle.
Yeah, but they consider it.
No. So under the real definition.
Under the real definition.
Under the real definition, certain automatic guns do, without the select fire, fit the bill. And then they fire an intermediate cartridge, which is a smaller, less powerful round. Anthony, you can chime in on some of this. I know you know some of these definitions.
You're taking it, man.
But I got to keep my cigar from going out.
Well, that's perfectly fine.
So the SKS does fire the intermediate cartridge.
Right.
But it's a semi-automatic
Right.
fixed rifle.
Yeah.
So now, the last thing was it was a legal purchase. And this was something that got way blown up on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony, do you know how old you have to be to own a rifle in California?
California? Probably 18.
No.
Is it 21?
California is...
Oh, yeah, that's right. They switched it to 21 the last couple of years, right? It used to be 18.
So in California, you have to be 21 to purchase a rifle.
Okay.
California, do you know anything about bringing guns into California?
Not really.
The only way...
All I know is don't bring your guns because you're probably going to break the law.
Well, legally, the only way you're allowed to transport a gun into California is through an FFL.
Okay.
So now, what do you know about...
That's through a purchase or through, like, you have your gun and you want to go to California? So you have to ship your guns to an
So
FLL?
I can't go out... If I lived in California, I can't go out of state and buy a gun.
Okay. Because they have to ship it back to the FFL.
Because they have to ship it back to the FFL. Now, Anthony, do you know what state's laws have to be followed? Or do you want me to just say it?
It's your home state.
When someone purchases a firearm, the state laws of the state that the transaction occurs in and the laws of the residence of the purchaser's resident state have to be followed.
Yes.
Especially through an FFL.
Yeah. It's like going to a Pennsylvania gun show and then, you buy something with a collapsible stock and they can't pin it right then and there. They have to ship it to your FFL.
Yeah. Yes. So, similarly, people in Pennsylvania can't buy a gun in New Jersey because they don't have New Jersey purchaser IDs, which is required to purchase a gun in New Jersey. So
that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So the FFLs.
Well, why would you want to come into New Jersey if you were living in Pennsylvania?
So the FFLs are required to follow the laws of both.
Sure. Yeah.
So now, this kid went and bought his gun in Nevada.
In Nevada, correct.
So, this purchaser sold a gun to someone who was underage in the state of residence.
Right. He didn't mind. He didn't.
And the FFL sold it to someone who could not bring the gun into California.
Yeah. So that's a good question to have. Now, should they be liable for X, Y, and Z?
I think that's a different call.
That's tough, though.
I think that's a different call. I think they should lose their license.
They should definitely be shut down for a while.
No, I think they should lose their FFL.
Okay, I can see that too.
Because
they didn't follow the resident state.
That
makes sense. Yeah.
And we have, and that is the biggest thing in most of these mass shootings that the media is reporting on. Because, mind you, we have a lot more mass shootings that are done with handguns than AR-15s.
Yeah, of course.
But the media reports on the AR-15s more.
I think that's interesting that they don't do the pistols thing, because that's so much... Well, I'm not saying it's so much easier, but, like, so much more happens with them.
Yep. Well, the problem is that, with an AR, you get 6 people dead. And with a handgun, 4 or 5 people shot, typically. So there's a 1-person difference, and because I might cut that out.
Yeah.
Because that's not really true, is it?
No, it's not. It's fake news.
It's fake news.
It's fake
and
news.
that's what we're criticizing them for.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll leave that in just to make a point. It's easy to make these assumptions. And like...
No, it's super easy to make assumptions. I mean, like, you can say that it's a high-qualified guy with a pistol. He would do the same amount of damage than a novice with an assault rifle. There's no statistical data that supports that. You can assume that it works that way, but it really doesn't.
Yeah. And really, my biggest contention is with these... When somebody labels an AR-15, they're saying...
Can I make a funny point real quick?
Sure.
So, I was at work with my colleagues, and this one gentleman comes in, and he's like, "Oh, I can't believe there was another shooting with an AK-15. And I was just like, "Excuse me?" He's like, "Yeah, that assault pistol." Oh my god!
If we can
I lost it. I was just like, "Yeah, you're absolutely right, sir. Continue with your day."
If we can do one thing for our viewers, if we could do one thing, please never call an AK-47 or an AR-15 an AK-15. If we could do one thing for you.
Or do your research. Not even do your research. Like, if you want to have a say in an argument, you should have stuff to support
You'll like
it.
this.
Go ahead.
We're men. I live on a farm. Anthony, I don't know what he does. So, we have pickups. I have a Chevy. I have a GMC 1500. He has a Ford F-150.
Correct.
So, with firearms, whenever they report most shootings, they say it was done with a handgun. It was done with a bolt-action rifle. It was done with, but when they report on the AR-15, it's an AR-15. Now, the handgun's bolt-action rifle, they're saying pickup truck. Or, alternatively, they report and they say, oh, it was this gun, name the manufacturer model. So they say it was a pickup truck or
a Bushmaster.
Or a Ford F-150.
Yeah, or, it's like an AR or a Bushmaster.
But in AR-15, they're saying it's a half-ton pickup. It's a middle classification because multiple manufacturers make it. Multiple manufacturers make their own models. It's a subcategory. So they aren't
it should just be
it honestly.
Semi-automatic rifle.
Yeah, and then when people look up that statistic, it's so low that they're like, So the reason they're trying to push a political agenda with the news. And I think I'm going to leave it there.
I agree.
And we're going to get into that because that's a part of our topic.
Hello, darkness.
I don't know if Pogo ever watches her videos. Probably not. because we haven't gotten a big following yet. I mean, we're shooting in a barn.
We're drinking liquor.
I've tagged Steven Crowder, and I've never seen anything from him. And I mean, he's really the one who gave me the inspiration to do these shows.
What?
So, listening to Crowder actually kind of gave me the inspiration to do some of these shows because we need more coverage and we need more people calling people out when they're doing these things.
Hey, man. I'm just here to entertain myself and the other people around me.
Well, there's no reason we can't sit back and have a good time while we're doing this.
Yeah.
And that's... man, this cigar was too small.
That's what she said.
Don't you have a good dad joke for us?
Here's a good one. So, if your significant other, your son, your daughter, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever says, I'm too cold, you just say, it's alright, just stand in a corner. You know why you stand in a corner?
Why?
Because it's 90 degrees.
Oh. Ouch. And I've heard that one before, and it still hurts.
Dad joke of the day.
Ugh.
If you're cold, go stand in a corner.
So,
why, Dad? Why? It's 90 degrees.
So, now, I wanted to have a good time, and, you know, we've
Don't
kind
we
of
all?
been falling behind in our manliness episodes, but there's been so much happening.
Yeah, a lot's been happening.
And we're going to have something today. Today, we are going to have an episode on, I'm sure many of you don't know how to unhook or hook up an implement on a tractor. So, I'm sure some of you do.
So, can we take that same information and do that for a pickup truck with a 3-point harness? Or a 3-point hitch?
There's no such thing as a 3-point
hitch, whatever you want to
There's
call
no
it.
such thing as a
Whatever the fuck you call it.
But on a truck, there's no such thing as a 3-point hitch.
Okay, well, the ball fucking thing.
So a trailer hitch. Yeah, we can do that sometime.
Is it the same principle?
No,
Okay.
it's nowhere
there you
near
go.
the same.
So it's only for tractors. So if you have a tractor and you have no clue what you're doing, either get off your farm or watch the video.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you
as
go.
simple as that.
So we'll talk about that, but you know, I've wanted this show to go. I'd like to do a good balance between politics and manliness, and unfortunately, people who did not do what we're doing as well. I don't know if I've gotten into this part of the story, but the big spark for this was, and don't worry, we're not going to take long on this, but the big spark,
let's go.
The big spark for this show.
Big fart.
The big spark for this show was I was thinking about this show a little bit, and I was looking up names just haphazardly, and I found what name I had thought of, and I was like, this could be perfect. And somebody already had it. And so I looked around on their page, and they were like, so this is how you drink whiskey. And some people prefer drinking whiskey in their glass without ice, and some people prefer ice. And with this whiskey, we recommend not having... There are two ways, as far as I'm concerned, to drink alcohol.
You either shoot it or you sip it.
Well, you pour it in a glass, and you drink it.
Like this. Exhibit A.
Could you pass me that? And now, this is rum, so, I mean, but it's the same thing applies.
Yeah, Kraken's a little tough, though.
Or you pour it in your mouth, and you drink it.
Do I have to do that?
No, you don't. You can.
Well, I'm going to do it because that's what men do. You pass the bottle and you just keep
But-
it going.
It is a little hard to talk after taking a shot of that.
It's not that bad when it's cold.
No.
Maybe we passed the threshold of, like,
Yeah.
it doesn't taste like alcohol. That's the thing with Kraken, though.
Yeah.
You have to, like, hit it hard, and then if you don't hit it hard, it tastes like shit.
But, so, and there are definitely different ways to enjoy different kinds of whiskeys.
Of course.
But you know what? everyone has their own taste.
Yep. Whatever makes you happy, people. Do what makes you happy. Just don't push your agenda on somebody else.
Well, that's what we're going to get right into.
Yep. So screw your opinion. We're going after you.
Thank you for the lead. So,
Did you fart?
No, I did not.
It smells like shit over here, bro.
Why'd you fart?
God, no. Whoever smelt it dealt it.
So that you'd smelt it.
Whoever made the rhyme did the crime.
And you made the rhyme.
Oh fuck!
You're cornered.
Oh no!
You're too cold. Stop standing in the corner.
Sometimes if you lay down, you'll get extra hot. You know why?
Why?
Because then you'll be 180 degrees.
All right. So let's just talk about the coverage of these shootings. We already mentioned how they blatantly tried to push an agenda with the Gilroy one, and failed.
Can we call it garlic shooting?
Yes.
Garlic festival shooting.
Well, they also said that the kid was also Italian and Iranian.
Yeah, I did hear that.
And why the hell, like that's like sacrilege. Someone who's Italian shot up a garlic festival?
Yeah.
Which might get into our...
If he was like Transylvanian or something, I would understand. Yeah. But why would he be at that if he was Transylvania? I would steer clear from it. Or at least go at night.
Yeah. Anyway. So we had 3 big shootings that were covered heavily.
I would say 3.5.
Why?
Because that one guy, off-duty firefighter, was at a Walmart, and he was an off-duty... I already said off-duty firefighter. But he was concealed carrying, and he saw this guy that was going to shoot up a Walmart, and he pulled to the side of the road and was like, "Nah, you come here or else I shoot you." So
okay,
3.5.
But that didn't get coverage.
No, it got a news article, and that's it.
And that's part of the issue, is none of the... So as we mentioned last week, there are a minimum 500,000 defensive gun uses a year.
Yeah.
The CDC estimates... And now, the CDC estimates 500,000 to 3 million. And we don't use those numbers. And and nobody reports on that. So that's the problem. And even still, 2 of the 3 that I'm talking about, the 3.5, so 2.5 of the shootings fell right out of the coverage. The garlic shooting one fell out because everyone was riled up.
It was super quick. That was like, oh my god, somebody shot up a festival. How fucked up.
Well, no, and then nothing aligned because it wasn't an assault rifle. The kid purchased it illegally, and then there was the Dayton shooting and the El Paso shooting. Mm-hmm. So the Dayton shooting fell right out of the headlines because his manifesto said we weren't pushing socialism fast enough.
Ouch.
And
that was the nightclub one.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And he was a huge Elizabeth Warren supporter. And they covered that shooting for less than 12 hours.
To be honest with you, it was all about El Paso. And then that night, that's when the Dayton shooting happened. And then that didn't get any coverage.
No, they covered it that night.
Yeah, but the next day, it was all about the El Paso.
Because everyone found out that now... Oh, man, I'm going to have to pull up my phone for a second. And I apologize. I think I know exactly where this is. But the majority... So this is where it gets interesting. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I hope I can find this fast. Okay, I think I don't have it. But the majority of... Like, not even like a slight majority, like 90, somewhere around 90% of people in the media donated to Hillary Clinton's campaign. Yeah. So, obviously, they're going to cover the shooting that they can try to blame on Trump, which is the El Paso.
Which all of them were, technically. Everybody was trying to blame him.
On El Paso. Which is why they dropped the coverage out of the other 2. Because they couldn't pin it on Trump. So, and nobody took the time to really read the El Paso shootings manifesto. Because the El Paso...
When the fuck did active shooters become fucking world-renowned authors. Who the hell writes a friggin' book before they go shoot up a place?
I mean, if you're gonna do it, I guess it's at least. I think what people started seeing was that they were the reason people are doing this is because they have an ideology they want to push. Yes?
How do you know that?
Okay,
That's an assumption.
or they're broken.
Okay.
So, what the people who have an ideology say is that they're being misrepresented in the media.
So do you believe that the same coverage would come about if a person wrote a book, wrote a narrative or whatever you want to call it, and just decided to open carry somewhere in a state that's not open carried, but he had the book? Do you think coverage would be there?
No.
Why not?
Because he didn't shoot anyone. And the media doesn't care about that.
Yeah, but if you took that times 10,000, for instance, let's pick a random state, something that begins with a
yes,
L.
they would be forced to.
Louisiana. Let's just say they, went to a main street on a Friday night and just open carried.
I think
1,000 people.
1,000?
1,000 people.
I don't know if that would be enough.
But that's
The
on a main street on a Friday night or a Saturday night.
majority-
You're telling me that nobody would be like, oh, well, they're trying to do a message?
Yeah.
They would just let it go?
Yeah.
That's messed up.
That's what I believe. If you have any other opinions, please like, subscribe, and comment on our channel because we need some views.
Remember all our friggin', what's it called? All our, not promises, but contests where we're like, subscribe and comment this and you'll get a tool belt or something.
Well, we did that and not enough people.
Nobody did it?
Nobody did it. There was one person who commented and nobody subscribed.
Did they get it?
No.
Why not?
Because I said that we needed...
whoever you are, comment again on this video and we'll set you up.
I said we needed a minimum 10
It doesn't
people.
matter. If somebody is there that supports us...
All they said was, hey, check out my YouTube channel.
Oh, jeez. Well, to be honest with you, that's pretty sad if they said to check out their YouTube channel on our YouTube channel, because that ain't it, Chief. That is the wrong way.
That is not the advertising you're looking
That is the wrong way to go about it.
So, anyway, let's get right back into...
Let's get jiggy with it.
Let's get right into El Paso. So El Paso, he posted his manifesto because we are going to run out of time. We don't want to waste it. El Paso posted a manifesto, and I think it really started... Actually, I don't know which one it started, but the El Paso guy referenced the Christchurch shooter. In his manifesto, he said, I had my ideas long before President Trump was in office, and the media is going to... Just wait and see. The media is going to blame this on President Trump. And it's not Trump's fault. He was an eco-nationalist.
What is that, like a tree hugging, like,
So-
this is my nation?
Yeah.
A tree hugging, this is my nation.
He's anti... Now, realistically, if you read his manifesto...
Don't step on twig.
He's all... Oh, I got a good one. Who would win a fight? One stick or a Marine platoon? Marine squadron.
I don't know who.
The stick.
Why?
Because the Marines are just going to break the stick. And then you have two sticks.
That's it.
So anyway, back to seriousness. Now, if you
I think you need more Kraken.
If you read this guy's manifesto, he's all over the political map. There's no.
So why do we even give coverage for him?
Well, we should give coverage.
Why?
But because it's a problem.
There's a statistic out there that because of the mass shooting coverage, more mass shooters are coming out.
But it's still a problem. And it's okay that it's being reported, but how it's being reported is ridiculous. If you read it, the reason that he basically, the summation is he hates corporations because they hire illegal immigrants.
Socialism.
He hates illegal immigrants because they damage the environment.
Oh my.
Because them and the corporations damage the environment of the United States.
Well, yeah, because...
And so he's a nationalist because he cares about... United States more,
see that. I can see that.
But he's most concerned about the environment. So
technically, he got his point across. He dropped some people. He left some more oxygen for the rest of us.
Well, That's what the Christchurch shooter said too. But yet, this is being pushed that if you now what we've gone from is we had this shooting, and now it was an anti-immigrant shooting. If you look at it, he had deeper motives. Okay, but now, if you support did you know that if you support Trump, you're a racist?
Of course.
And that's what we've gotten down
you're
to.
racist. You're racist.
Yeah. Trump. The people are reporting that Trump's language is divisive, but then they're reporting that if someone supports Trump, they're a racist. Ugh, gross.
I almost hit the bucket.
It's a good thing we're in a barn.
Yeah, I mean, I almost got the bucket.
So, you're a white supremacist.
That's racist. Stop it.
Gee, you're a racist.
Stop it.
You're racist. Listen, if any of you watch this and you have a subscription to Louder with Crowder, he just did an episode where he sat down and he did the Change My Mind meme. If none of you know who Crowder is, the Change My Mind meme came up because of him. He sat down with the table. Trump is a racist. Change my mind. Somebody sits there with a microphone screaming in his face. Trump's a racist. Blah 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 blah. And
Trump is a racist or isn't a racist?
Is the guy with the microphone. Eventually, he sat down, and it just keeps going and going. The guy insists that you call him Jesus Christ. So yeah, it's a bit of a.
But there's not a mental health problem in America.
So and then. But then at the very end of the video, Crowder takes chunks of what this guy has said, and he overlays it with the stuff that's said by the media. So now we can go back, and most of the things the media has said about Trump is incorrect or taken out of context. The biggest example is the Charlottesville statement, where he said there are good people on both sides. Yes. He did say that. A sentence or two later, because he said, I am not talking about the white supremacists and the neo-Nazis. The white supremacists and the neo-Nazis need to be condemned. Yes. I am talking about the people who were there protesting and counter-protesting the removal of historical statues. And we take that. And literally all of these quotes, when they say, oh, Trump said, oh, the rapists, the Mexican immigrants are rapists and murderers. No, he was specifically talking about gangs.
Yeah.
So the argument is Trump's language is divisive. I disagree. The media's reporting of Trump's language is divisive. Trump's language is perfectly fine. Now, maybe not perfectly fine. He's a jerk. We get it. He's a bit of a bully. His stuff about it, the squad was a little wrong. It wasn't racist. It was a jerk move, right? So, but the media reported it as he's a racist, and anyone who supports him is a racist. Any more thoughts on this?
It's your opinion. It's like an asshole. Everybody has one. Is showing up.
Wonderful. Welcome to Lost Mannerisms. I'm your host, Forrest. Today, we're going to show you how to disconnect and reconnect and implement on a tractor. And this won't take long. I'll try to keep the noise down as much as possible, but our co-host Anthony is going to help us out here. Now I'm going to give him his sunglasses back, and we're going to go.
Well, thank you, sir.
So, now, to kind of have it in a decent place, I'll try to edit out some of the mess, but what I like to do is put a block under this thing. Just because of this implement, it's tough to rehook up. And please don't mind the weeds. Our mowers have been broken. So what you got to do is these clips hurt a lot if you let them slip, but you pull them out of the way. And normally on the tractor there will be a little spot for them, and you can put them right back in there. Actually, I'm going to be honest, I think with this one, they stay with it. That's your preference. So now, if Anthony swings around, Anthony, go to the other side, please. So this tractor has pins for the arms to adjust the width of where the implement is. And you have to pull them and swing the arms out. Normally, it requires a little bit of force.
Don't worry, get manly with it. There we go.
And it's not going because it's fully retracted on this side. So I'm going to unhook this clip on this side. Ooh. I might have to... Oh no, this isn't coming undone. What do? I have to start the tractor. But I'm going to take the top link off. So the reason it's called a 3-point hitch is there are 3 points of contact. And I can't even take this out because... So what I just did was I took some weight off of the implement and the top link. How this works is it holds itself together with all of the top link holds this pin and it becomes a whole physics equation. So I have the weight off of that now. So that's unhooked. And if I'm lucky, I can get one of these other pins out.
Which you did.
Which I did. And
I forgot to not misplace them.
So I'm going to take my whip pin out, which I can. And now I'm going to go back and set the implement pin.
Oh, that's a little blurry. There we go.
So now that the implement is down and everything's unhooked, I should be able to free this thing up.
We got 2 out of 3.
So we have them all done. So now I'm going to show you how to hook up to an implement with a PTO. I'm going to turn the tractor off just so you guys can hear me. The big thing of a power takeoff is it's for an implement that requires power to run. Over there, that was what I took off was just a rake. Now this is a power rake, and now it's covered in weeds, so please pardon that. We haven't used it in a little bit. What I like to do is I like to hook up the PTO first. And there's a spot for it on the tractor with splines. And there are a couple different styles of these couplings. But basically what they do is they hold, Anthony, if you really come in here, you will see these grooves. And on the high spots of these grooves, there is a ring. You can pull back out.
That's what she said.
Now in this, on the implement side, there's balls or a pin or something, and sometimes you have to squeeze it. This one you have to push back.
That's what she said.
So you have to line it up, and sometimes you have to move some of the parts. Remember, never move any of the powertrain with your fingers here.
That's what she said.
I don't know that works. So you pull this back and you wiggle it and jiggle it and shove it on until it clicks together. So hopefully our machine is lined up now and it's close. So I can at least get this pin in. And sometimes what you have to do is you have to, and since the machine is not running, I'm going to stand up here. And Anthony's shoving the camera in my face so I can't talk. Yeah, you have to pull way back. So, because the machine was off, I could reach up and set it down. Now, right here, I have pin storage. And you have to pay attention to what kind of pins are on your devices. Sometimes, like over there, you have fixed pins that you just have to put these on. On this machine, you have to line up everything and put the pin in by hand. And then you can put your safety retention pin on, which may be easier said than done because this machine has something in the way. Oh. There we go. And it looks like I might be able to get the top link in too. But it appears that the other side is not lined up correctly. So I'm going to hook up everything I can, put all of my clips back in. Anthony's going to try to do that. It's not going to work.
Nope.
And sometimes you just have to get in and out and adjust things. Never mind.
Alright, you got it! Woohoo! Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
So now this is one of the reasons why you have to pay attention to what you're doing. This is one of the reasons why you should practice a little bit before you first try. Sometimes these things just don't line up easy. And there's a lot of ways around it. There's a lot of ways to finagle it. Sometimes it requires physical strength. Sometimes it requires a tactical application of the machine's uses. So, what we are going to do now is I'm going to lift this up, pull forward onto the area where we don't have weeds, and Anthony is now reset the pins in these arms that I had to pull out to disconnect from before. So I have to set both of them, and depending on the type of implement you want, you might want a little bit of sway. So like with a mower, if you were to hit something, it would have a little bit of give. But since this is a power rake, I actually want this machine fairly fixed in place. So I'm going to find a spot where I can get it fixed in place, and I'm going to get the pin in there. And normally the fixed in place is the hardest one to hook up, but I'm going to put it close to fixed in place, and that's enough wiggle room to make me happy. One of the other features on this, which you may or may not run into, is I have hydraulic hoses. And what you do to unhook them, and now this machine has parts that are worked into the system, so they're always hooked up. To unhook them, you just pull. And now I'm going to tuck these up so they don't fly everywhere while we're using this. And then to reconnect new ones on the tractors, you just push them in
there.
And that's how you hook up and disconnect from an implement. Thanks for watching Lost Mannerisms. Catch us back in the studio.
Just close my eyes and close my eyes. Very long. Just close my eyes and close my eyes. Very long.
You know, you said something.
What did I say?
You said that everyone
You're
can have an
racist.
opinion, but
Yeah, everybody has an opinion. So what?
and I'm hoping that my comment on Crowder made it in, but I don't know that it did. So
You might have.
it might have. We started talking longer, and I realized by the length of my cigar how long we were talking.
That's what she said.
But so you said everyone can have an opinion.
Sure.
Are there some opinions that are wrong?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's your opinion. If you think you're right, you're right. But, you know, if you're telling me that water isn't wet, you're wrong.
But that's my opinion.
Well, you're wrong. There's scientific
But
facts.
water isn't wet. Water makes things wet. Water itself isn't wet.
So you're telling me that
All
that's
right,
not...
bad example.
Yeah,
bad example.
So your opinion's wrong. You're racist.
Oh, God. So, is it reasonable to have some of these discussions if
It depends on the situation and the context.
their opinion off the bat
Well,
is
you're
wrong.
you're just wasting air at that point. If you all you have to do is put a simple rebuttal, and if they freak out, then you already know that they're wrong. So save yourself some time
But
and
that's
aggravation.
a lot of people right now. There's a lot of people right now that are willing to run with the idea that everyone on the other side of the political aisle is a racist.
Well, I would even put it to, since we're talking about shootings, like the best way to put it is, here's a gun. Here's a gun. What is it going to do?
Gonna sit there.
Exactly. But if you pick it up, cock it, aim it at something, and pull the trigger, granted that there's a bullet in there, what's going to happen?
There's a bullet in here.
Okay, so great. What's going to happen?
Well, I'm not gonna pull the trigger.
But what's going to happen?
I'm not gonna pull the trigger.
But what's going to happen?
It's gonna go off.
Okay. So, who did that action?
Well, that would be me.
So you're wrong. Why'd you pull the trigger? Because the gun made you
Because
do it?
I got annoyed at this camera.
Well, that's your opinion. That's your fault.
That is a great thing. You know what? I think for the rest of the episode, I'm gonna leave this gun kind of pointed at you. I still care.
Not kind of pointed at me. Pointed in a general vicinity.
Yeah. Well, I still care about safety, so it's not pointed at you, but it's pointed in your general direction. Now, as you as our witness, will anyone please let me know if this gun jumps up and assaults Anthony?
Mm-hmm.
Next time, we'll do this with an AR-15 just for a point.
Why don't we push it off?
I like this gun.
I do too. I can hit steel at 100 yards with that.
So anyway,
It's a nice gun. I think I might get a 10 mil.
You should.
I really want
It's
one.
a great round.
Should I get a Kimber? I mean, like I'm the type of guy that doesn't buy too much
That's
too
a lot
often.
of money.
Yeah, but it's a TLE Pro with the friggin' 10
If you
mil
really
long
want,
slide.
if you really want to go for money, you should get the Delta Elite.
Yeah, I'm not spending that much money though.
That's not that far off from the Kimber.
Yeah, but a Kimber's a Kimber. Really cool thing about Kimber. Somebody lost their firearm in a fire accident, it got burned in metal. Kimber took it back and made the same exact gun again, with the same chassis and everything. Really cool.
Most of the firearm companies care.
Yeah, but that's awesome.
So, let's just wrap this part of the conversation up, because this is only going to be available for full episode viewers. I read something, and I kind of agree with this. If someone on the right disagrees, like if you or me disagree with a liberal, we're going to poke holes in their argument until they can't have an argument anymore. Yes?
Sure, but what can they poke holes in our argument?
Well, that's what I'm about to say.
Okay. Then say it, boy!
Because when a liberal would argue with someone on the right,
Wow, you're targeting liberals. That's really wrong.
Yes.
That's wrong.
they're going to get
That's
triggered.
racist. That's right.
Liberal trigger warning. Liberal trigger warning. Most of the time when a liberal has an argument with a conservative, or I guess someone left of center has an argument with someone right of center, so they try to make them to be bad people.
Okay, I can
And
agree
the
with that.
difference is that Republicans still think of Democrats as people who live in the same country, who care about the benefit of everyone in the country, and their ideas are just bad. Whereas the liberals think that, the liberals think that they're bad. The Republicans are bad people with ideas, and that's the problem. And that's the problem with where we are. Because if you're a bad person with ideas, I don't care what your ideas are. And that's why they resort to racist attacks. That's why they resort to white supremacist attacks.
Here, I'll make this very simple and easy for you. You're in a situation where you can make the most money. Or you can do the same exact work for everybody and get paid the same.
Yeah.
Which one would you choose?
I'd choose the more money.
Okay. So now you're in a shady area, and you don't know what anybody else has. Out of all the objects in this room, a glass, a lighter, a microphone, a cigar, a gun. Which one are you gonna bring?
Well,
do you want to make friends and have some liquor with them?
yeah.
Okay, but what happens if they don't have liquor and they want your liquor and they point a gun at you or point a knife at you or point something else at you?
But that's not that's getting away from the point.
No, but that is the point. Everything that a Republican stands for is self-preservation and self-gain. Not saying that you can't think of others when you're at the point in time of your existence, but at the end of the day, you're doing the best for yourself and the ones that you love for. Versus you're doing the right for everybody else.
Oh no, we don't want to get into a capitalism argument because the idea of so capitalism would capitalize on. Okay, anyway, let's change topics. We've been going on about this for a while.
You're the one that started it.
I did.
I wanted a fun episode. I
wanted to make it easy and talk about. I wanted to bring the Kurt Russell segment back. I think we're getting a little too sensitive around here.
I'll drink to that.
White phosphorus. What do you know about white phosphorus?
It's been it's a chemical reaction with phosphorus and ignition source.
What do you know about video games?
Well, it's depends on what kind of video game
What's
it is.
What's a very expected video game right now?
Oh, the newest Modern Warfare.
Yes!
Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm not. I've fallen out.
How do you not get excited? Did you see the new gameplay?
No.
Dude, they have a friggin' night ops mode. And it's you against another team.
Well, that's cool.
It's hardcore. And you can use your hardcore. And you can use your night vision goggles.
That's neat.
And then every time you aim down the sights, a laser beam comes out and it gives away your position. Or you can take the goggles off and you can't see shit. And then you can still aim down sights. But the premise is it's a hardcore mode, no HUD, no this, no that, and it's super realistic. Like, if you watch the gameplay on this, it's unbelievable. It looks like real life. But at the end of the day, it's something that's no other Call of Duty's done. How can you have a night map and then throw on goggles and then, you can't aim down sights? That's super realistic.
That is kind of curious.
That's super cool. You have to watch it. It's awesome.
Anyway, so they were if you don't know what Call of Duty, if you get a certain number of kills, you get something called a kill streak. It's a video game. Caveat: it's a video game.
Man, imagine if that's real life. That'd be bad news, bro. That'd be fucked up.
So you get 3 kills. You get
a UAV,
a sensor that detects people on the game map you're playing.
An unmanned aerial vehicle. Now
they've decided to add white phosphorus.
Cool stuff.
As one of those kill streaks.
For all those hardos out there. Good old Willie Pete.
And now...
Good old Willie Pete.
And now people are very upset about that. Because how could you use something like white phosphorus to kill someone?
I don't know. Why would you shoot a cannon in a barrage of people? Why would you send dogs out to hunt them down? Why would you interrogate somebody and break their bones?
Would it be because it's a video game?
It's a video game! Yes, there's real world implications for this device, but at the end of the day, if you're on one side of the fence and somebody else is on the other, and you don't want that other person to go on the other side of the fence, what are you going to do?
Anything you can.
Anything you can. And that goes back to that gun conversations. If you're in a sketchy area, would you want a lighter or a gun? Would you want to,
I think I just saw the gun move.
No.
Just like...
No.
Stop it. Quarter of a millimeter towards you?
No.
All right. The gun hasn't moved. Anthony's not shot. This gun's been sitting on this table for 5 minutes. Nothing's happened. On that landmine.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare is getting reissued. It's going to be sick.
Like, subscribe, watch our videos. There's plenty of them. Find this guy on Facebook, dox him, start messaging him, telling him he needs to participate more.
What? I participated enough. Don't even start with me. You're the one that wants to do all the political stuff.
And Al, too. We have to start getting some good real segments. We have to convert that Lincoln into a convertible.
That's very simple to do.
On that Lynn mine.
Lynn mind?
Lynn mine.
Better to have loved and lost Captain Jean-Luc Picard